What's up, guys? This is Wes, Sincity Tactical, and this is the Sincity Tactical podcast show. So I do have a co-host. Apparently, there's somebody at my front door. We're going to silence that. Awesome. Okay. I do have a co-host. His name is Jax Cook with the Minnesota Overlanders. They are a division of Sincity Tactical, so I am growing my brand a little bit, trying to get it to be more popular, make more content, better content, and then, of course, do the live stream podcast setup for you guys. So anybody who has gun-related questions, CCW questions, open carry, Pro 2A topics, product reviews, stuff like that, that's what this live stream podcast is going to be about. This one is not going to feature Jax. This is my individual solo podcast, and I do have that up on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and Anchor.fm. And on there, just the audio podcast aspect of it, I've been going over individual state CCW laws, and I've gone through Alabama to California. So if you'd like to check that out, you can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and other podcasting platforms. Or just send a direct message and I'll give you a link of where to go. But to get you guys going and to see what type of information I'm giving on the CCW laws, today I am on Colorado. Okay, so Colorado has 544,000 permits that have been issued. 33 states honor their permit. They have 35 reciprocating states, 5.7 million state population. Their minimum age to concealed carry is 21 years of age. They have 36 attorneys in the USCCA network, a 10.48 permit percentage from the population. The permits last 5 years there, and they have 122 USCCA certified instructors in the state of Colorado. Okay, so one thing that I want to touch a little bit before I get into more details on Colorado, this does pertain to Colorado, but other states as well, except for California and Illinois. You can concealed carry with a permit, obviously, and wear a mask when you go out in public and things like that. Now, normally that would be considered a felony, so obviously we don't recommend to do that. But with the current situation that the world is in, the guidelines and the mandates are allowing us to concealed carry and wear a mask. So once that ends, obviously don't continue to do that, and your local government should be able to provide you with that type of information. Or you can look back here once this coronavirus stuff goes away, and I'll do another update on laws. Okay, so we're going to get to a quick glance of Colorado gun laws. They are not a constitutional carry state. Open carry is permitted without a permit, except in Denver County and other posted areas. And any person who is at least 18 years of age can legally carry a firearm as long as they're entitled to be able to carry, meaning they don't have any crimes that would prevent them from being able to purchase a firearm. Gun permit licensure. If Colorado requires a permit to carry concealed, how are they issued? They are a shall issue state, and the minimum age to concealed carry there is 21 years of age. Weapons other than handguns allowed? No, it's handguns only. Tasers or stun guns are allowed, which obviously is not a firearm. Chemical spray and pepper spray is allowed. Non-resident permitting. Does Colorado issue concealed carry permits to non-residents? Yes, but only for members of the military permanently stationed in Colorado or their immediate families. So I could not go there and receive a Colorado permit, but my CCW permit is honored in Colorado. And then no, you do not have public access to the concealed carry database. Okay. Can you carry in your vehicle? Yes, and you can do that without a permit, but don't conceal carry it on your person. Put it in a glove box, or if you have a gun mount, a little magnet gun mount or something like that, you should be okay to carry your firearm like that in your vehicle. Carrying at roadside rest areas, so like these little truck stops, the pull-offs, yes, you can carry there with a Colorado permit to carry. Okay. And then national parks and stuff like that there, yes, you can conceal carry there with a permit. And you can carry it in bars and restaurants that serve alcohol. And there's no statute against carrying it at like a hotel or motel. Okay. And then storing in a vehicle in an employee parking lot, there is also no statute against that. I guess that comes down to your company policy. So that's something that you would want to look into, like an employee handbook for, or something along the lines of that. So that's just a quick little snippet of the Colorado CCW gun laws. And that is basically what I'm doing almost on a daily on the audio podcast that I provide. And then, of course, I'm going to be having this live stream show with my co-host Jax. And he's got a new operator in his division of Sincity Tactical, like I said, the Minnesota Overlanders, and his name is Griff. So we'll be hearing from him a little bit sooner than later. And then, of course, I would like to get a couple of the SCT operators that I've got out here to get onto the podcast and go over world situations, stuff like that. We actually had a pretty good podcast yesterday for all the Facebook Live viewers that are out there. When we are doing these podcasts, we want you guys to put in comments and, interact with us, give us questions that we're able to answer for you. So yesterday we did about an hour-long podcast, and somebody named Gilbert had jumped on and was asking us questions. He's from California, and, he had some particular questions. So like I had stated earlier, I did in a previous podcast, the California gun laws, CCW laws, things like that. But I'm more than happy to reiterate any of that information when people are reaching out and responding. We also talked a little bit about like AR-15 type of attachments, stuff like that. One of Gilbert's questions to us was, how do we feel about open carrying in groups? So like multiple people in a group, open carrying. And that's kind of a touchy subject, especially right now, right? First off, I don't believe anybody should be open carrying at all, just because there is proper licensing and training that you can get to be able to conceal carry it. I want to know that I have the protection for me and my family on me, but I don't need the whole world to see it, right? And I think that's the biggest thing is I know I'm safe. I know I'm secure in most situations, and of course try to avoid putting yourself in any bad type of situations, and just avoid it completely. Now Jax is a white male and Griff is a white male. Of course I'm a white male, and I use that as an example. I said if all three of us were to go walking around open carrying in a group, especially with today's outlook on Caucasians open carrying and stuff like that, and then you see the rioters and this Kyle kid that was 17 years old carrying an AR-15 in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and how that blew up. Obviously that would incite a lot of problems if you're a group of Caucasian males walking around open carrying. It's just all bad. And even before all this happened, before George Floyd, before the Cannon situation, which you don't see that trade on the media very much, or the coronavirus stuff for that matter, you don't want to walk around open carrying. You make yourself a target, right? So like if you go into a store and there's a criminal that comes in and that criminal is completely, set on committing that crime, and they see that you have a gun on your hip, there's two ways that they're going to go about it. They're either going to try to commit the crime without you noticing, or they're going to take you out so they have less resistance and less threats on them with committing that crime. So don't and even nowadays, if I go out and I see anybody that's open carrying, I try to avoid them, right? I don't want to sit here and talk to you about your gun. I don't want you to know that I even have a gun on me, because that, sometimes people get too friendly and they want to talk about guns and da da da. And I've had situations where I was at the store and somebody was carrying a gun or whatever, and he happened to keep coming up next to me multiple times. So I finally turned around and I asked him what the gun was. I knew what it was just by looking at it, and he goes, "Wow, you know what that was just by looking at it through the holster? I mean, you couldn't even see the model on it or anything like that." Well, I like firearms, so I'm pretty well versed in them, and it wasn't like a common pistol that you see every day. So he was kind of shocked that I knew what it was right off the top of my head. But then we had a conversation where I was like, "Look, man, it's of course I have my firearm." And we started talking, and he goes, "Oh, well, can I see yours?" And he goes to pull his firearm out of his holster. And I stop him. I go, "Hey, do not ever brandish your firearm for no reason. I'm assuming your gun is loaded and you've got a round in the chamber, because that's how I carry. I keep one in the chamber and a full mag on me at all times." And one of the first things they teach you in gun safety is to never pull your firearm out of your holster unless you intend on shooting it. And I mean, obviously, from a little bit earlier in this part of the discussion, I had stated I already knew what his firearm was just by the buttstock of his gun. I could tell what model it was and everything, caliber, everything. So I don't need to see it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to see what you have, especially because I've already stated I knew what it was, right? So I feel like more training needs to be done. But that's going to be enough on today's little stream podcast. I might have a second episode go up later today with Jax. But I wanted to introduce the CCW laws per state into the live stream platform. So if you guys like this content, give it a like, share it with somebody, comment on it, let